Recording in progress.
Okay, so let me share my screen once again. As most of you know, I'm not a planner. I'm a thinker. I like to try new things, but I'm very bad. I'm very poor at making things organized and get things ready for my colleagues, as James knows very well. So my talk, I'm not going to talk more than 15 minutes. So anybody can time me. I'll be done at least by 8:35. Harry, if you have to go to the office, feel free. You can take a look at it later. Yeah, so briefly, I mentioned Management 3.0 or Management 3.0 a couple of times. This is not this is not the philosophy or guidelines. When K.R. Yoon, who founded GTMI about 9 years ago, once he agreed me to get on board leading this organization, I wanted to try something interesting, which is about Management 3.0. I know, Breeze, you were able to attend the session in January with my colleagues in Latin America. I had 90-minute long webinar sessions twice, but I couldn't tell you, everybody to join the session. But I'm going to do it again later in March. I'm sorry, February, early February. So you are all invited to attend twice in this time, 8 a.m. Korea time. So before we jump right into the session about engaging, motivating people, which is a topic for February, if you want to know a little bit more about what Management 3.0 is, I can provide another session. I'm quite free these days. My company doesn't give me any job, so I'm trying to support my colleagues in my team and do some facilitations and coaching. So I'm okay. If you are in the WhatsApp group already, you can tell me when you want, or I can propose a couple of dates, times, then maybe you can choose one. So as you can see, just one image, Management 1.0, Wilgen Pello, a colleague who studied Management 3.0 a couple of years ago, he found Management 1.0 is traditional, but he didn't say outdated. Okay, this is still valid in some organizations that require hierarchical corporate culture, right? Like military or production lines, things like that. But these days, many people are talking about agility, VUCA. We cannot really expect what's going to happen next year, even next month, right? So these are the ideas, right? It's not actually decisions are not made, like at the top. We are all equal. All members share accountability, responsibility. Anybody can bring up the issues. Oh, Gary, this is something we can maybe collaborate, right? Or Gary, or Heather, this is an organization in China. Why don't you come down? I'm talking on behalf of Yumi. So I'd like to have this kind of horizontal platform, not a like corporate ladder type organization. So I'm not going to talk more about Management 3.0 at this point. That's the idea. I'd like to basically have fun by helping other people. That's the main thing. But we do need to have some kind of boundary, right? Many people are doing good things. Many NGOs, they protect our environment. Many like peace organizations. So we don't want to do the same thing. I just wanted to focus on the topic of globalization, as Sang mentioned earlier, cross-cultural understanding. I think that's something I'm passionate about as well. So helping not, it doesn't have to be only young people, but younger talents who have more potential, right? Time-wise, okay? So that's something, as I mentioned, a couple of times earlier, I think you know my intention. Regarding the site, okay, GTMI or.kr. Yeah, that's the area maybe you can focus more on. So we do have a website. I know it's not really fancy. My daughter made it. I gave her. She's not a member officially, but at the early stage, she followed my direction, and eventually she got an Apple Watch. Anyways, so I know you're familiar with this site now. Programs. I added one more thing on top of coaching and leadership workshop. We can provide them basically on demand. If there's anybody who needs our expertise as coaching, mentoring, facilitating, teaching, training, we have more than 30 experts. So I was pretty surprised. There are a lot of people who want to do the meaningful things, right? And one thing I added, I think last week, it is monthly webinars. GTMI, I actually got to know this organization through this. About 5-6 years ago, it wasn't webinar type, obviously, before COVID-19. It was monthly seminars in Seoul, Yeoksam area. There's a nice Chinese restaurant. So GTMI invited a lot of HRD professionals, human resource development, mainly. So I was invited, and there were speakers, and Sang, Dr. Nam, he was one of the speakers. I was one of the speakers. James was one of the speakers. So it kind of has the legacy to invite, great minds, or I wasn't one of the great minds. I just wanted to tell you about an idea of situation leadership that I liked. So anyways, I'm going to continue the legacy. Even though it is just 8-time event this year, I'd like to work together with you. I'm not the only one who needs to schedule this and talk to the speakers, potential speakers. So it's going to start from March. I'm going to take care of March session. And I have a couple of speakers in mind. One of them is here. Anyways, so we can discuss further what we can do together. And as you can see, there will be more than one speaker each event, each webinar session. But I'm going to invite one speaker, let's say from Canada, another from Netherlands, one from Korea, another from India, and things like that, on the same topic, okay, obviously. So if it is about cross-cultural understanding in March, I have a couple of potential speakers. I need to talk with them, whether their time allows, but they committed their hours already, 10 hours, 20 hours. So I think we can work it out. But if you have any ideas about these, I have some, but let's talk through the idea, if time allows today, or you can continuously discuss our ideas through WhatsApp group, right? If you are not in the group, just let me know. I can invite you there. membership wise, it is, we are having a lot of new members. We cannot have everybody this time, but we do have several MCMs, more committed members. Right? Seoul, I like his English name, Seoul Park. He committed more than 80 hours, so he became MCM. So if you are willing to contribute more time, you can become MCM anytime, right? So yeah, unfortunately, we cannot have like offline event to meet everybody because of several reasons. But eventually, you will get to see them through webinar sessions, through maybe working together in the same program. I think Yumi is gonna tell us what she has in mind for the Korean younger people in Philippines. Anyways, and I'm updating what's new. Right. So I posted 4 articles or things. As you haven't, maybe you didn't see these, right? Through the Lunar New Year break, I worked, right, for GTMI, not for GTMI, for our members, for our potential customers. So these books were either written by one of the members of GTMI or translated by them. These 2 books published in Korea was written by Sang, Dr. Nam. Love these books. And then these 2 books were written by Fernando in Netherlands. He joined as a member. So my intention is to invite 2 writers in March, but I need to make the official invitation later. And James, who's here today, he wrote this book. You can buy this one in Amazon if you plan to emigrate to the US. Excellent book. And Seoul, Dr. Park, he wrote this futility book based on his PhD thesis. And Heather, who's with us today, she translated these 2 books about coaching, right? And Heather provided the webinar sessions. Was it a webinar? On virtual session about this book, Coaching for Leadership by Marshall Goldsmith. And then Kobadis. I should read it as well. And as some of you know, I also translated a book, Becoming a Coach by Jonathan Passmore and Tracy Sinclair. And I'm working on another one, which will be published hopefully in March, about values. But anyways, I promised finishing by 8:35. I'm almost done. So all of you can sign in here. I know some of you signed up through this website, and some of you earlier signed up through Google spreadsheet. When my daughter and I were not ready to accept, get the applications. So if you wanna post anything, you can just sign in, right? And you can write down your email address and the password. If you do not know the password, you can click on forgot password, or you can just remember what you decided when you signed up, or you can try GTMI as a password. If it doesn't work, you can renew your password. Yeah, I think I'm almost done. Okay, and yeah, so I told you mostly about what I have in mind and the website. So it is now your turn, or as among members, I can still continue to talk, right? So if you have any doubts questions, I'm sure you do still. And some of you contributed. I think most of you donated a certain amount of money, and it's not in my bank account. It is GTMI's bank account. So I make it very clear how your money is going to be used. Okay, things like that. And if you have any ideas about what we can do together in terms of connecting and collaborating, feel free to talk for the next 25 minutes. We'll be done at 9 o'clock in Korea time sharp, but I'll be staying so we can maybe continue to talk if you have time, if you have more ideas, questions, personal questions also. Okay, so I will. So these are just examples. You can talk about something else, as long as it is the topic of GTMI. Okay.